What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaac, aka The Baddest, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. There are probably hundreds of characters at this point. I'm not really sure of the exact number, but there are way too many to talk about in one video. So today I want to talk about the most important characters of Five Nights at Freddy's, the ones that have the most effect on the story, the games, the lore, all of that stuff. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, but probably fairly long because there are still a good amount of characters to talk about. So this will be a bit of a different kind of video. I'm just going to, almost like a slideshow presentation, going to be breaking down these characters, what makes them important, and the information that we have on them. So let's just jump into it and start discussing some of these characters. First off, we have arguably the most notable character, William Afton, who is of course known for being the co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, as well as the killer throughout this series. He is the reason that the animatronics are possessed in the first place. The first missing children's incident was caused by him, and every single one following that was also caused by him. He is also Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This is because, and I will never understand this if I'm being entirely honest, but what happened was, he dismantled the animatronics that the children were possessing, assuming in a hope that that will be able to stop them from having control over anything. And when he did that, he actually released the spirits from the suits. They weren't able to possess the suits, but they were still, you know, in existence. And this is what I don't understand. I'm going to be totally honest. Maybe someone can explain this in the comments. I will never understand why this happened. But when the spirits went to Afton, presumably to do something to him, not sure what, but something, he panicked and went into his Spring Bonnie suit, which he always wore when he committed his murders. And when he goes in that suit, there is water seeping through the ceiling because of how old the building they're in is. It's the sealed building from one of the original Freddy's locations, and it's so old and decrepit that water is actually seeping through, and when water touches the spring locks in the suit, they shut down and crush him. So he dies and decays in the suit, forever stuck in it. And when he is brought to a horror attraction based on the stories of Freddy Fazbear's, they find him and bring him to the attraction, and that is the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And what I'm saying I don't understand is, why did he go in the suit? I will never be able to understand that. Like, what would that do for him? Maybe he thought that since it is a suit and an animatronic in one, that the spirits would be able to possess it? Maybe that was his fear? I don't really know. So someone try to explain this to me if they have any idea of why he went in the suit. He is also Scraptrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 6, or Pizzeria Simulator. Some people don't really like this because he looks so different than he did in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but putting that aside, this is him after Five Nights at Freddy's 3. After the place burns down, he does survive, and this is the remains of him that are then lured to the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 location. And then he is, of course, technically speaking, Glitchtrap from Help Wanted. The story of Glitchtrap, supposedly, is, I guess because it has been established that spirits can possess technology, that is basically what happens throughout the entire series, part of William Afton was attached to some technology found in the rubble of the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 location, and that was then implemented into the Freddy Fazbear virtual experience that Help Wanted is based around. So when they implement that technology into the game, that creates Glitchtrap, which I guess is a part, either an entirety of, or a part of William Afton's soul now in the game. Once again, I have some problems with this. It's one of the things I don't like about Help Wanted. And I just, like, why was this technology put into the game? Why is William Afton's soul on technology? Why does Glitchtrap possess this form just because of the technology that William Afton is attached to? I don't know. There's really no guidelines for Five Nights at Freddy's lore anymore, so I guess I should just stop questioning things, but I've never really liked what Glitchtrap is meant to be, but at the same time, I can't really think of a more reasonable way to expand the series or his story. He is also believed to be Orange Guy in Midnight Motorist, which is a minigame in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. He is believed to be this because he isn't allowed on this property that is assumed to be a Freddy Fazbear's location. He goes to a house that looks somewhat resemblant of the, resemblant? Is that a word? It kind of looks like the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house, and there is a kid, presumably, in a gray shirt, like the brother in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and he has a kid that he locks in his room and tries to run away, kind of similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. He is also potentially the protagonist of Ultimate Custom Night. There isn't a whole lot of confirmation on this, but it is believed to be the case that he is the protagonist of Ultimate Custom Night, and what Ultimate Custom Night is it's his eternal hell. Following the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, this is his version of hell, where he has to face the consequences of his actions throughout all of the years. It is a bit weird that in Ultimate Custom Night, there is a character named Afton, as well as Springtrap, but, you know, Custom Night is confirmed canon, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because there are characters in it that are supposedly confirmed non-canon. So, again, the lore of this is not worth questioning. But anyway, now we can move on to our next character, which is Michael Afton, which is William Afton's son. He is at least believed to be the older brother from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, following some information found in so many different Easter eggs in games and books. This is the conclusion that has been made, that he is the older brother from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. He is the protagonist of Sister Location. He is the one that gets his innards scooped out, and then possessed by, I guess, Ennard. He is also believed to be the protagonist of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. I couldn't really tell you what the evidence behind this is. I'm sure I've heard it before and just can't remember, but if anyone wants to fill in that gap in the comments below, feel free to. But he is believed to be Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, and he burns to death along with everyone else in that game. Next we have the Crying Child, who is also William Afton's son. He is the Bite of 83 victim we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, that he is placed into the mouth of the animatronic Fredbear by his brother and his brother's friends, and that ultimately ends in his death. Much like we saw when we were talking about Springtrap, water or any moisture tends to make spring locks completely shut down. So when his tears are going up against the spring locks built into this Fredbear animatronic, it causes them to completely shut down and his mouth just closes and crushes on him. And after the Night 6 minigame, we know that he does die from this. He is now believed to be a spirit in Golden Freddy. The theory with Golden Freddy right now is that there's 2 spirits within him. We will be talking about this a bit later as well. And he is one of the 2 spirits in Golden Freddy. The primary evidence for this comes from the Five Nights at Freddy's survival logbook. And now the most recent theory is that his name is Evan. This also comes from the survival logbook. The proof to this is a bit of a stretch, and it's highly debated right now, and I don't know if there will ever be anything to fully confirm this, but it is believed to be at the moment, but at the same time the evidence is a bit too sparse, so it's kind of just up in the air. But it is kind of ridiculous that we have to call this guy the Crying Child. Also, if it wasn't obvious, he is the FNAF 4 protagonist, just to get that out of the way. Next we have Elizabeth Afton, who is William Afton's daughter. She is within Circus Baby, technically not... This is so complicated. I believe since the way that Elizabeth was killed was through the scooper built inside of Baby, I believe that means that she doesn't technically possess Baby because it isn't her spirit in control. She just granted life to the animatronic. Because Circus Baby's personality throughout all of it is still Circus Baby. She says, "I was on stage once," in Sister Location. Elizabeth wasn't on stage once, Circus Baby was. So technically Elizabeth Afton possesses Circus Baby, but at the same time, her spirit is kind of nothing more than a way to grant life to Baby, presumably through Remnant. Remember back when this game was, about a pizzeria and stuff like that? Those were interesting days. And of course, that does mean she is also Scrap Baby from Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Another design that doesn't completely make sense, but the story here is interesting. She is one of the animatronics that makes up Ennard, following Sister Location, but for whatever reason, I think it was something to do with Baby wanting to have more control over the group, something like that. She is sent out of Ennard, like she is just kicked out of the amalgamation, and this is what she is after that. How did that happen? I wish I could tell you. How does this fully make sense? I wish I could tell you, but it's fine. Next up, we got Henry Emily, who is the other co-founder of Freddy's. He is believed to be what is referred to as Desk Man in FNAF world. This is because Henry Emily, in the book series, kills himself and is the creator of the animatronics. And in FNAF world, he kills himself, and there is some reference to the creation of the animatronics. He is most definitely the cassette man in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, or Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Fuck, whatever you want to call it. We know this through some Easter eggs regarding files on the computer in the game, and we also know this because he refers to the puppet as his daughter, which will be discussed in right now. Charlotte Emily, the daughter of Henry Emily. She goes on to possess the puppet after Afton kills her, presumably at Fredbear's Family Diner, but it might have been at the first Freddy Fazbear's location. I'm not sure which of the two it is, but after Afton kills her, she goes on to possess the puppet. We see this in the security puppet minigame in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. This character is very important because we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that she is the one that grants life to the missing children. I believe in the timeline, the event of the missing children's incident and the death of Charlotte are right next to each other pretty much. I could be a little bit wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they happen within the same short time frame. And she was able to possess the security puppet, which we're just going to call the puppet, because they were intertwined right after her death. So what she did was she put the bodies in the suits, and that was able to grant them possession over the suits. So she is technically the reason that most of this series was able to happen. And in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, she is technically Lefty. What Lefty is a holo animatronic meant to capture the puppet. That was its purpose. It was meant to encapsulate the puppet so that way it could burn to death at the end of the game. So within Lefty is the puppet, who is possessed by Charlotte Emily. Next up, we got Cassidy, who is the other spirit in Golden Freddy. Arguably the primary one, but I'm not sure how you would determine that. I don't fucking know. Cassidy is one of the two spirits within Golden Freddy, at least given the current theory. Who knows if this will change. And she is the vengeful spirit in Ultimate Custom Night. The vengeful spirit in Ultimate Custom Night is a spirit that doesn't want to let the player go. Again, this is why, part of the reason, William Afton is believed to be the protagonist. The vengeful spirit, Cassidy, doesn't want to let him go, doesn't want to let him rest. She wants to forever torment him. There isn't a whole lot of information on Cassidy, unfortunately. Her name was figured out through the survival logbook, which was then confirmed through one of Scott's movie ideas, also technically by a mistake done by Cloak Brand, but we'll ignore that part. And yeah, that is also why, and the survival logbook has a lot to do with Golden Freddy, so that's how this whole confirmation kind of got put together. But besides that, there actually isn't that much information on her, which is kind of interesting. The last character I would like to discuss is an upcoming one, technically. We have Vanny. Vanny was the playtester, or tape girl in Help Wanted. She was the one leaving behind all the hidden tapes that were meant to put together the story, and that ultimately end up putting together Glitchtrap by the end of the game. She is, at least to some degree, being controlled by Glitchtrap. Her own personal conscience is kind of just no more. She follows his orders, she follows what he wants. So, it's what I'm questioning is if she will be the antagonist after Security Breach. Because that is all we really know about her, is she will be the antagonist of Security Breach. But since she is simply evil because she is being controlled by Glitchtrap, who is just code, I wonder if there is a way that she'll be able to break free from that. Recently confirmed, technically, is that Security Breach will have multiple endings. So my theory right now is that there will be a good ending that frees her from this. She will no longer be controlled by Glitchtrap. But another ending, the bad ending, will be that she isn't, and that will be the right ending. Because throughout all of Five Nights at Freddy's, there have been good and bad endings all the time. The bad one is always the one that actually goes through. And her real name is believed to be Vanessa. I really can't remember how this was confirmed. I will put up some information on screen if I can find it when editing, but I believe it was something to do with source code on one of the websites. But also, Vanny is believed to be a combination of Vanessa and Bunny, so that does make sense. I can't remember exactly how this theory came up, but it is believed, and makes complete sense. I just can't remember why it makes sense, which is real unfortunate, but if I can figure it out, I will put it on screen for you. So those are some of the most important characters of Five Nights at Freddy's. I would argue they are the most important. I was thinking about talking about Phone Guy, but I already did that a lot, and his importance is questionable to say the least, so I made sure I didn't. I am thinking, I actually put this up in a poll a while back, and it was the least voted, so that's why I didn't end up making it, but I still might do it. I want to do a video on every single animatronic in the series and who possesses them. That would take a lot of time, but honestly it probably wouldn't take as much time as the minigame video did, so I think I'm still going to do that at some point. But I figured this would make that easier, actually, because it would give me a reason to not go into the great detail of characters like Springtrap. I could be like, I discussed that in this, you should check that out. That would make it so much easier because there are so many characters at this point. So that video might come out, but regardless, this video is about, in my opinion, the most important characters, and I don't think you could really argue with that. So yeah, that's all for this video for now. If there's any noteworthy information you believe I missed out, make sure to leave in the comments below. Again, answer some of my questions that I said throughout this if you know them. The main one being, why did William go in the suit? Why did he do that? He got in it out of fear and then laughed in confidence. Why? But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy, or at least got something out of it. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.